Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. What you're looking at here is I am getting ready to upgrade my solar system. Had a couple of solar panels up on a pedestal, and it wasn't it was very temporary. I did it in the wintertime. I didn't have an area to mount it in, so what I'm doing here is clearing off an area to sink a sonotube full of concrete to mount the solar pedestal to. The skid steer here is a CAT track loader 259D3, and I'll use a couple of different attachments, the bucket as you saw, and then an auger to drill the hole, and then I'll probably use forks to manipulate the solar panels onto the new structure. So hang in there with me as we get started on this new project to upgrade the solar system. Good morning. Another Sunday here at the compound. I am going to start getting my new solar panel mount installed. As you saw, I got the track loader out here, cleared a little spot, and I didn't show you the augering of the hole, but I did that. Got my sonotube installed nice and level. So now I can't put the concrete in yet because I still need to get my J bolts from Menards, so I have to go do that. But what I am going to do is cut this plate off with my plasma cutter. This bottom plate was going to be sort of my template, if you will, for the bolt holes. So this is the old solar mount that I had installed. So I'm going to use the plasma and, cut this off right here, and then I'll just use this plate as the template for the bolt for the J bolts. So I'm going to get that done right now and get her cut off. As you can see, that's some pretty thick steel, and she cut right through her. Not bad. Here's my plate. So next, I just need to get the concrete. By the way, that's a nice little plasma cutter. It's inexpensive, and it works great. So it's the Lotus, I think 550. Yeah. Lotus 5000. Again, I would recommend it. I've had it for a few years, and it does a great job. So, on to the next step. Alright, so I took the plate I cut off, and I decided that I'm going to just use it. So I'm going to put this into the concrete, bolt side down here. And then, so it'll be like that. And then I have bolt holes on the top, or bolts on the top. And then I use this piece as a template from the other piece. I'll cut those holes out, and then that'll be welded to the bottom of the solar plate stand, and that'll go over the top of these, and I'll bolt those down on top. So we have quite a bit in the concrete, and then above the ground and then the pedestal, that'll be a rotating pedestal on top. So that's what I was thinking with that. So now I just have to mix the concrete and get moving. As you can see, I've got it set on top. Now I'm just going to cover it because it's just started raining. So I'll cover it for a bit, probably a few days, let it harden up. But I used 2 3/4 bags of concrete, almost 3. So there we go. Next step is the post. Okay, we are out in the shop, and I started this video by talking about upgrading my solar system. So I am just going to talk about that a little bit. So I have been doing solar on my shop. So if I'm welding or plasma cutting, charging my batteries, I'm using solar power. I'm not using the 110 to charge my solar batteries. Let me show you what that is. 2 EcoFlow solar generators, basically. One on each side here. As you can see, I've got them plugged together. So this goes up to this here, and then the other one plugs into the other solar generator over there, which will give me 220. So by tying them together, it gives me 220, and that allows me to run my welder, plasma cutter, that type of thing. I have all my battery chargers for my tools up here, and I've got them plugged right into the front here, so I can charge those up as well. I also have a little, one for a phone or something when I'm out here, so I can do that. But basically, the solar panels, I don't know if you can see back there, but they are charged. They come plugged right into the back. I have 1 panel per, and I can charge, I think, 4 panels per. I think it's like 1,200 watts per solar generator. And at some point, I'll probably get the whole shop on the system, to include the boiler to keep it warm in the wintertime. But currently now it's just shop tools, welding, stuff like that. So on the outside, I think I showed you a little bit of that. I'll walk out here. The solar panels. Again, I just have 2. If I added a couple more, I could probably do the whole shop, and I may get to that. I just haven't got there yet. So I'm going to have to unplug the panels here and make new connections, shorten up the wires, and get that done. I've got my, you saw me get this done, so this is all ready to go. I just need to get the new plate installed, get that welded up, and be good to go. I have to clean up all this. So that's the box that goes into the shop. And then all this coil will be, wrapped up and disappeared, basically. I'll cut it to length, bury it with liquid tight out here to the solar panels to get connected. So that's what we're looking at. Going to get that done here shortly. Going to be working on it a couple of days a week, hopefully. Winter's coming, so I need to get that done before winter. I'll walk back here. Shop is very messy right now, but I've got the new pedestal here that is the new pedestal. That'll get welded on the base, and then I will get it all reconnected and so on. So I need to get that done within the next week or so. So that's what I'm working on. I'll get this step-by-step process sort of documented for you so you can see what I'm doing and maybe throw some specs in about the EcoFlow stuff. So thanks for coming along. All right, I'm going to make some gussets, cut some gussets here for the pedestal. So what I'm going to do is do these at 2.5 inches. So I've got a square here on a piece of metal. I've got 2.5 inches here and 2.5 inches here on my square, right? Oh, that didn't work very well. Let's get that back. Okay. And then I can draw between the two lines, and that'll give me my gusset that I can cut off. So I'm going to do that, cut all the gussets, do another one over here. Again, 2.5, 2.5, right there. Get my mark. And I can draw between the two lines. And I just cut that corner off, and that's my gusset. Gussets will go like this, like that. Okay, I've cut 45-degree angles on the edges as a bevel so the weld can adhere better to the base. Did that on all four sides. It'll make it nice and strong and allow the weld to get into the metal and sort of fill this 45-degree angle gap. So that's why you cut a little bevel into it. So next step is going to be welding. All right, I did the four corner tacks here. I'm just going to make sure, use my level to make sure it's all level. Certainly within tolerance. Yes. The bubbles between the lines, so that's good. So now I'm going to continue to weld, put this together. Then I'm going to add our gussets onto it as well. So let's get that started. The welds look really good. You see, they look pretty good. So now it's time for the gussets. Everything's level and straight. So now I'm going to trim the bottom corners of the gusset down here, this corner. I don't know if you can see that, but this corner right here, where it sets up against the gusset, because the weld's in the way now. I should have probably tacked those on first, like a dummy. I didn't. But no problem, I'll just cut the corner off. Just cut that little corner off there. It'll be able to slide in and work just great. All right, welding the gussets on. Doing it on the corners, I think it looks cooler. So we're doing that. Just sort of getting them tacked. All right, I've got my pedestal in the vise here. I am going to pop some holes in the bottom of it. You can see right in the center there, I'm going to drill some holes because this is a sleeve. This pedestal here is a sleeve, and a round pedestal part will go inside of it, so it'll be exposed to the air and rain. So I don't want the inside to rust to the sleeve. So that's part of the reason why I made it round, so it's easy and flexible. But I'll probably drill holes in it so it can drain, and then I'll put some marine grade grease in the back of it, so in the bottom of it I should say, so it doesn't rust to it very easily. So that's what I'm going to do, drill some holes. Alright, let's go try to put it on the base, the concrete piece. So this is all ready to go, got my holes drilled in it. Did some grinding on it to get some of the little bits and pieces shaved off, clean it up. So let's go put it in. Like a glove. Now I just need the washers and the nylocks. I got my little gappage there so the water can run out. That should be solid. I just have to put the washers on and then level it. So that's the next step. Alright, got all my tools and stuff out here. If you remember, I've got nuts underneath here, and that's what I'm going to use to level this up. So it's not bad, but this nut has to come up a little bit. This one probably a little bit. So I'm going to get that done, get this all leveled up, and then we'll be on to the next step. All right, as you can see, I've got the hole drilled for my mounting bolt, but I decided I'm going to weld a little quick cap on the end here just to mitigate some of the water getting in to the sleeve so it rusts. So I'm just going to tack that on real quick and make sure it fits and keep on rolling. All right, I've got the top greased up, or the bottom I should say. That's ready to go down the shaft. So I'm going to get that done. Okay, there we go. So bolt hole's ready. Now I can mount the solar panel. Then all I have to do is mount the control boxes, the disconnects on the back, redo the wiring, and you know, bury it, that type of thing. But we're getting there. Winter's coming. Got to move. Well, we are back out and going to work on the solar project. It's a beautiful fall morning. It's about 10 o'clock and it's about 52 degrees, so it's beautiful out. And as you can see down the driveway here, the leaves are turning and it's a beautiful day in Minnesota. So we're going to get busy to try and get the solar panel mounted today and fastened down and ready for, you know, the rewiring project that still has to come on that. And I've got to get moving here before the snow comes. So we're going to get it mounted and the rest will follow. So come along and watch me get this thing installed. All right, the first thing I'm doing this morning is I am going to rig the panels to get lifted by the track loader so I can easily pick them up with a little help from my lovely assistant. She'll be in the track loader today, and we'll be lifting this up so I can get it in position to put the bolt in because it's just one bolt, about 4 washers and a nylock that'll hold this in place and make it pivot. So we're going to get that done. I'll get her rigged up. Alright, so I got a big loop in this thing, and what I'll do is I'll drive the forks up, loop it over the forks, and then we'll be able to lift it up and raise it up and down. But before I do that, I got to disconnect the wiring on the solar panel, so I'm going to get that done now. Alright, to get these apart, they make this cute little tool that enables you to pop these connectors apart, the solar connectors. So it just sort of sets down and pushes the little tabs in for you, and then you can just pop it apart. So it's pretty slick, pretty easy. I like it. All right, you're not going to drive, you just use one hand, lift it up. Did you push the red button? Not so fast, just a little bit. making more changes on the fly. I am deciding to do riv nuts, and a riv nut is this little thing here that provides a threaded hole in a piece of steel. And what I'm doing is making brackets that'll reach from the solar panel back to the pedestal. So I'm putting a riv nut in each end, and then I'll be able to adjust it on the pedestal. I haven't got to that part yet, but just going to get the connection done on the panel, and I'll show you that in a second. But I'm going to drill this hole and get this riv nut installed. Here's the riv nut. Slide that in the hole like that. And then you use the riv nut tool to cinch it tight. It sort of compresses like a rivet. So we screw that in, and then we start ratcheting it down. All right, there's the riv nut installed. So it compresses on the back side a little bit, squeezes inside the hole. There's little fins inside there. And then you can take your bolt, 1/2 inch, whatever, this one's 1/2 inch, and then it screws in, and you have a nice threaded nut there. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, I've already drilled my hole in the bottom of the panel bracket here. So I'm going to put this nut through with a washer on it. If I don't drop it. Grab my wrench. Okay, got it snug, not super tight. And then I can do something like this. Again, haven't figured that part out yet, but there we are. Don't you just love it when things break in the middle of a project? So yeah, my microphone went down here, so I'll just sort of walk through a little bit. I ended up bringing my old Lincoln welder out and used it as a sort of a portable so I could get this plate with the disconnects welded to the pedestal. So I ran that out there real quick and did that. And then I had to make these splice cables from the existing solar wires that I had out there. So I just trimmed some, left an end on, and then put the appropriate ends on the other ends to make my little whips. And this process doesn't take that long. You just have to have the right crimper and the right connectors, and it's not too difficult at all. You just slide the sleeve on, slide the compression fitting on, and then put your either male or female metal crimp on there. And that's what I'm doing right now, just putting that crimp in there. And it's a little tricky. The best way to do it, as you see here, is either to load it into the crimping tool first and then slide the wire in, or like I end up doing, I end up just putting the crimp on the wire and then sliding it into the crimper and crimping it a couple of times. It makes it easier. This way the wire sort of can get, frayed by not getting into the right position. You got to take it off like I'm doing here, retwist the wire, and it's a bit of a pain in the butt. So put it in the crimp, then slide it into the crimping tool and crimp her down nice and good. And after that, putting it into the connector is pretty simple. You just slide it in until it clicks, and it'll just sort of snap in. And then once you have that sort of snapped in, you push the compression fitting in the end, and then you slide up the other end and twist it on. And then you'll need to use a couple of tools that they provide you when you buy the ends. It's these blue little wrenches, and they sort of slide on each part of the connector, and then you give it a couple of twists until it starts to give you a little click, a little snap, if you will, and then you're done. Right there's a click, and pull it off, and it's done, ready to go. So bring it outside and terminate it on the old wiring, and then one side of the disconnect. So snap it in, and these are IP66, so you don't have to worry about the weather. And then I'm talking about here is, tying up the strapping or the wire so it doesn't get in the way of anything when you're moving the panels around. But one side down, the other side to go, and then I just have to do the main runs like we're talking about here that go back into the building, and those snap into the bottom of the disconnect. So, and again, the reason for the disconnect is to be able to turn the power off going into the building if I need to work on wiring or something like that. So I can turn the power off from getting from point A to point B, just like that. That's on, and turn it sideways, that's off. So it's a safety thing, really. So as you can see here, I am wrapping up the last connection, or the last connections to the disconnects here, and getting ready to fire this puppy up. I think it's turning out pretty good. The disconnect system is going to be very helpful going forward. I just need to clean it up, dress up the wiring a little bit. Like I said earlier, I'm going to enclose the wiring and bury it underground. That'll be spring, maybe this fall yet. We'll see what the weather does. But as you can see here, they are charging. Got 162 watts coming in on one, and it looks like 157 on the other one. So they are charging. You can see they're at 99 and 98% because the sun tops these things off every day, no matter what I'm doing. So if you're interested in doing a solar project and you think it's really difficult, it's not. You just need to have a solar generator or inverter type system, and you can have one of these or you can have two. I needed two because I wanted to tie them together to make 220. But you could do one and do a lot of stuff, charge a lot of things, or run a lot of things, refrigerators, hot tubs, all kinds of stuff, depending on the wattage that you're using. These things are really awesome to use. So it's not difficult to do. I mean, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And one of the sayings that I have is, if one man can do it, another man can do it. So this is not a difficult thing to do. And I hope that you enjoyed this video and going through all the processes. It took a while. This is multi-days, as you could tell by how many different shirts I had on. But, you know, I don't have a lot of time to do these projects, so I've got to make hay when I can. And I appreciate all of you hanging out and watching the video and checking it out. FYI, EcoFlow is not a sponsor of this video, of course, just a product that I like and have started to use. So again, thanks for joining me.